Hey, it's Steve. Well, if you're working on a layout that's going to have a lot of structures, one good thing to do is to mock up all your structures with foam or cardboard or boxes, whatever you might want to do it with, but to kind of get an idea of how things might be arranged and maybe sizes and shapes before you commit to actually building a lot of the structures. And so I've done that here on the 2x4 foot end scale layout to kind of mock up all the structure locations, get an idea of how things will be arranged, how sight lines will look and that kind of thing. And so now I can think about this for a while and decide what changes I might want to make to the layout based on how all of this looks, play around with it for a little while, and then once I kind of like how everything looks, I can commit to actually doing all of the structure builds since there are a lot of them on this layout here. So anyway, let's take a quick look at how I built these temporary structures. So I'm going to start off by cutting a 3-inch wide strip of foam off my laminated foam board that I have here, and then cut that into 2 to 2.5 inch wide blocks. I have roughly 2x3 and 2.5x3, maybe a couple 3x3 blocks that I can use to represent structures on the far upper level part of the layout and kind of arrange those on there to get an idea of what my structure placement can be and how I can kind of arrange things with rows and everything else, and kind of see how that's going to look visually for those upper level structures. Okay, so for my main industrial area here, you can see I have different kind of base areas marked out here with some pieces of foam core board that I kind of cut out to fit those areas, and those are going to be roughly where all of these other structures are going to be located. So using the 2-inch thick foam, you can see here it's roughly the same height as a regular warehouse structure. So I'll take each of these foam core templates, put it on the bigger piece of foam, and then cut that out on the hot wire cutter here, and then put those bigger foam pieces back on the layout and see how those look. Right now, with everything cut out, I can get the pieces put back on the layout and get a better idea of how everything will fit. This one here, I'm going to cut off a little bit more of this side, and so I can kind of push it back a little bit farther. All right, that works better for me. I'll have a road area coming through here between all these structures, and this way, that's going to fit a little bit better, and I can still have 2 loading doors for boxcars on this side of the structure. So I have one more structure to cut here, this upper level one on this side. And so you can see how everything looks with these temporary foam structures. So definitely a lot of structures. I'm not sure about the background there. I do plan to have some structure walls right along the edge of the backdrop there, but how I arrange those, I'm not really sure yet. But I'll have something, something back there, at least in places, and other spots will be some type of printed backdrop as well. So different kind of stuff back there, but that'll be determined later on. But anyway, you can kind of get an idea at least of maybe how some of this will look. And some of these will be probably taller than what I have here, depending on the kits that I build and that kind of stuff. But that'll be the general idea of how everything looks. Now you can take this a step further and go ahead and paint all these, add loading doors and that kind of stuff, and actually operate your layout with these temporary structures. And I actually do plan to do that here in another video, at least with these warehouse ones. I will go ahead and paint those, add some loading doors, and then we can run an operating session on this layout and actually have car spots to deliver cars to and that kind of thing, and kind of see how everything works. But anyway, just an idea, if you are looking at building your layout, go ahead and make some mock-up structures at least to get an idea of how everything looks and how you might want to rearrange things. It's kind of a good idea just to kind of let these sit for a while, kind of see how it feels, maybe change things, a week or two later if you don't like how things look, after you've kind of had a while to kind of ponder their locations and sizes and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it can be kind of a good idea to do this before you actually commit to building your structures a certain way. So anyway, that's all for now, and thanks for watching. Bye.